Good evening, everyone. Episode 41. We're getting through the numbers pretty quickly now. This is an absolute treat, this one. We've decided to do something a little bit different. And to be perfectly honest, I'm absolutely pinching myself now. Three of my favourite artists. I can't believe I've been able to pull this off on a Wednesday night and put together, two really well-known artists, in my opinion, and one that's an absolute superstar in the making, on his way to big and better things. So let's talk about that. Obviously, a David Bowie tribute night, which we've publicised. So show number 41 of So What's Been Happening, Wednesday, the 23rd of June. Let's bring up Berkey to say a quick g'day. How are you, Berkey?
G'day, Az. Ready to rock, mate?
Yeah, we sure are. Absolutely.
In place all week.
Absolutely. Let's just bring up Cars for a quick chat. How are you, mate? Welcome.
G'day, boys. How exciting is this going to be? Or how excited am I about this as well, too?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Without further ado, let's start to introduce our superstar guest, Berkey. Let's start with, why did we choose this great show to start us off?
Well, we had James Young on the show last week, Az, and he mentioned his favourite night at Cherry Bar was the Bowie night, the night that David Bowie passed away. He decided to open the floodgates and wasn't sure if anyone had come, and it was just a chock-a-block night. When I got home, my daughter Emma was in tears, and we decided we'd make it into Cherry Bar, and it was just a hug fest. It was a ripping night and one I won't forget. So the obvious was our first tribute night was going to be for the great man David Bowie, one of the most influential artists of all time, certainly in my eyes, and in our guests as well. So bring him on, Az.
Absolutely. So we thought we'd do something a little bit different, and we'd start to tribute some of the major acts around the world that's had huge influence on us. And what better to pay tribute to that with these three genuine superstars? Berkey, give us the first intro.
Well, I think we're going first up with a young fellow that plays in probably the greatest three-piece band in Melbourne. And now he's in one of the greatest four-piece Australian bands of all time. He's just a rock and roll gun for hire. He plays, he sings, he writes. He's a great tap dancer. And he's a lovely bloke as well. Lucky enough to have a few gigs with Ash over the years. Had him in on a few occasions, and so we'd like to bring on firstly Mr. Ashley freaking Naylor.
Welcome, Ash.
Everyone, how you going?
We are fantastic, mate. We are fantastic. And just as we do, let's bring on our second guest, Berkey. Let's just bring them all up for a chat, very quick chat, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, well, one of yours, I know. As Electric Mary, and I used to see this man in a band called the Spaniards 1,000 years ago, when I was old and he was still young. Mr. Rusty Brown from Electric Mary. Welcome, Russ.
Welcome, Rusty. How are you, mate?
Hey, good evening.
Fantastic to have you both with us. All right, and without further ado, let's talk about our third special guest, Berkey.
Well, this guy's not new. I've seen him for the last 10 years, and he's just expanded his repertoire. And he's he and his brother in a fantastic band called Pollyman. Let's bring out Mr. George Carroll Wilson.
Hello, guys. Good day, everybody.
Welcome.
Great to see you all, Max.
Yeah, firstly, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. I'm excited to see Ash play.
I'm excited to see Rusty and George play.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because everyone that knows me knows that, I'm a huge rock music fan. But my second love and very close is 60s pop music, 60s, 70s. And when, in the very early days, even when I had my band, Mr. Brown, we were definitely influenced by Even, and I think we got one chance to play with them at the Evelyn in Fitzroy, and Fitzroy, yeah, what an experience. Loved it. Loved it.
God bless you,
Beautiful.
Rusty. I wish I could
Great
sing
to
like you,
Thank
bro.
Why? Yeah, no, I truly mean that. I'm not just saying it because I'm on here. It's absolutely true.
Thanks, mate. That's very, very sweet.
Great to hear. All right, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to kick off. We are going to kick off with. We'll come back to the chat, I think, about Bowie and what Bowie means to you. I think we're just going to kick straight off with a song, and we're going to talk about Bowie in between songs, if you don't mind. So, I think we're going to throw to Mr. Ashley Naylor to kick us off. What better way?
All right. Well, thanks for throwing me in the deep end there. I'll play one of my favourites, Kooks, if that's okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great.
Off Hunky Dory, which is one of the greatest albums ever recorded. I'll get straight into it because I'm not sure how much battery I've got. Will you stay in a lover's story? If you stay, you won't be sorry, 'cause we believe in you. Soon you'll grow, so take a chance with a couple of coots hung up on romancing. Will you stay in a lover's story? If you stay, you won't be sorry, 'cause we believe in you. Soon you'll grow, so take a chance with a couple of coots hung up on romancing. I bought you a lot of things to keep you warm and dry, and a funny old crib on which the paint won't dry. I bought you a pair of shoes, a trumpet you can blow, and a book of rules, and what to say to people if they pick on you. 'Cause if you stay with us, you're gonna be pretty kooky too. Will you stay in a lover's story? If you stay, you won't be sorry, 'cause we believe in you. Soon you'll grow, so take a chance with a couple of kooks hung up on romancing. And if you ever have to go to school, remember how they messed up this old fool. Don't pick fights with the bullies or the cats, 'cause I'm not much cop at punching other people's dads. And if the homework brings you down, well then we throw it on the fire and take the car downtown. If you stay in a loving story, if you stay, you won't be sorry, 'cause we believe in you. So you go, so take a chance with a couple of cooks hung up on romancing. Will you stay in a lover's story? If you stay, you won't be sorry, 'cause we believe in you. Soon you grow, so take a chance with a couple of cooks hung up on romancing.
What a start.
Hey,
What a song. Wish I'd written that
Ash,
song.
I don't know that song that well, but that as soon as you started singing it, I thought, is this Kinks influenced? Is that?
Oh, man.
Does that
Has to
seem
be,
like
doesn't
that?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da,
Has
da, 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 da. It's so good, man.
And the
Wow.
recording's
It's
got that
has to be,
sort
isn't
of rinky-tinky piano kind of part as well, that sort of
Yeah.
vaudevillian style,
Absolutely. Really music hall.
that ballroom music kind of thing.
Yeah. Incredible music hall kind of feel, like when Small Faces went on music.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Kinks did the same thing. They went from rock and roll to music hall, in the space of 2
Yeah, I
years.
know. Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's one
That's the parenting song, which it's been like my parenting anthem.
Yeah.
You know? If you stay with us, you're going to be pretty kooky.
Totally.
Thanks for indulging me, everyone.
Thanks very much, Ash. It was a great start. Good luck, you blokes trying to match something like that. So
Yeah, I know.
can we ask Ash? What influences, obviously, by we can hear it in your music. When did you first get into the man?
I think I had my awakening probably around 1980 when I was into Kiss and that kind of stuff. When Ashes to Ashes was like in the top 10 in countdown for, it seemed like months. It was probably weeks, but it felt like months. And every weekend I was hanging out for a Kiss rerun on Countdown, Shandy or Sure Knows Something, and
Ew.
79, 80, right? And then in 1980, Ashes to Ashes was like number one forever.
Yeah.
And there's something about that clip and that song that was just sort of transfixed me and sent me into another.
Well,
it looks like we've lost Ash there.
just sent him into another world.
Yeah, that was a pretty good segue.
We might kick into one for you, Rusty, if that's okay. Can we call on you to play your track and give us a little bit about it?
It's the only song David Bowie had as a number one in Australia, and it's a cover. With your long blonde hair and your eyes of blue, the only thing I ever got from you was sorrow. Sorrow. You're out for fun and trying to spend my money. You're out there playing your high-class games of sorrow. Sorrow. You never do what you know you ought to. Something tells me you're the devil's daughter. Sorrow. Sorrow. La 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 la. I tried to find her cause I can't resist her. I never knew just how much I miss her. Sorrow. Sorrow. With your long blonde hair and your eyes of blue, the only thing I ever got from you was sorrow. Sorrow. Oh. I love it. With your long, long hair, I couldn't sleep last night. With your long, long hair. I love that song.
Yeah, beautiful, Rusty.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, man.
I love that song.
Can we ask?
Just listening that today.
Sorry, George. Can we
I
ask
was
you the
just
same?
saying, I was just listening to that today.
No, lovely.
yeah.
Too good.
Can we ask Russ the same question? How did you first get into Bowie? When did you first hear him, and what did he mean to you those early years?
Well, I'm a little older than everybody else. So during the skinhead days of like 75-ish and all that stuff, Bowie was big for the skinheads. They loved him, and he was a weird kind of character that you thought that they wouldn't love, but they went for him. And I kind of fell in love with him then. But to be honest, his last two records would be equal to anything of my favorites of David Bowie. I just so good. He never, I don't know the words I'm trying to find, but he was never bad, you know. And I saw him at Rod Laver Arena, and because I loved Queen as well. And as soon as they went do 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 do, I just tears were rolling out of my eyes. And one of my mates said, "What's the matter, man?" I said, "Nothing." Like, I'm getting to see him sing it live. You know, it was so good. Under pressure. I just loved it. Yeah, everything about him. And Mick Ronson was a big thing too. And the more I read about, the more, you know, the docos you see, you know, where Mick Ronson and David and Mick went producing and, you know, writing for others. I watched, what's his name? Oh my God. From Mott the Hoople, I watched him last night, and he was given up. His band was finished. And I think David offered him Suffragette City, and he said no. And then they said, "What about all the young dudes?" And he said, "Yeah, I can sing that." And away he went. What's his name? From
Ian Hunter.
Ian Hunter, yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, yeah. No,
I wish somebody gave me all the young dudes to
you could
sing.
ask a question. Sorry, Ash, we lost you a little bit earlier, mate. Can you just extrapolate where you were at on that one? What's your we've got about halfway through, so
I think I should finish up, but about 1980, that's where it was sort of like my epiphany, my awakening, I think. But I remember when I was little, my cousin found a brush and she combed my hair back. I must have been about 8 or 9. And then she combed my hair back and it sort of looked a bit mullety and a bit spiky. She's like, "You look like that. It looks like David Bowie had red hair, like, you know, when he had the red mullet."
Yeah.
So I knew who he was before I kind of got into his music. But it's one of those things. Once you get into it, it's a treasure trove. Like what Rusty said, the last 2 are fantastic. Like The Next Day was a great record, and it's hard to sustain that kind of creativity over a lifetime. But certain people manage to do it. You know, Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Neil Young, those kind of characters.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should hand it to someone else. I might die.
'Twas a pity she was a.
And you guys have both, Rusty and Ash, you've both done shows at, not tribute shows, but you've done shows for the Great Man. I saw, lucky enough to see both, I saw the Ash one at Cherry Bar, where the one-man show doing the Ronson, Bowie and everything else, which is just phenomenal, and just in a small venue. And then I remember seeing Rusty at the packed out corner show. That was just mind-blowing. When you were saying about the under pressure thing, I remember you going for that high note and just everyone's just going, "Ah!" So yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. I think we're doing it again next year. So it's around the anniversary of his death/birth. That's really a Dale Ryder thing. Dale Ryder put that together, and I was just happy to have an opportunity to sing with Dale, and Jason Singh was on board as well, and yeah,
Timmy.
It was just great. Honestly, I just loved it. Yeah.
So
I thought I was David
that
Bowie.
Come on out, George. It must be up to
An
you now,
overweight
George.
David Bowie.
You'll have to do your own tribute show soon, George. But
That's right.
well, you guys, Ash and Rusty, you're in for a treat here. This guy's phenomenal. If you haven't heard him before, you're in for a treat. His star's on the way up, and he's going to be huge. So don't want to build you up too much, mate. But take it away, George. What are we going to do from him?
All right. I'm going to do a couple of songs. The first one will be one of my favorite, well, kind of my earliest exploration of David Bowie's music. Wasn't really from David Bowie, but it was from the soundtrack to the film The Life Aquatic. Don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's got Theo George, who's a Portuguese musician, does the whole soundtrack on a nylon string guitar and just him by himself, and he sings all these great David Bowie songs all throughout the movie. Yeah, awesome. And the soundtrack for the movie opens with this really gorgeous version of Rebel Rebel that he does, and he does it in Portuguese, but I don't know how to sing in Portuguese, unfortunately. So I thought I'd do his version of it, but kind of a mix between, you know, his version, David Bowie's version, and then wherever I fit into that as well.
Yay.
So I thought I'd do that to start
Go
with.
ahead, mate. Looking forward to it.
Well, let's do it. You got your mama in a whirl. She's not sure if you're a boy or a girl. Hey babe, your hair's alright. Hey baby, let's go out tonight. You like me and I like it all. We like dancing and we look divine. You know bands when they play it hard. You want more and you want it fast. You put you down, you say I'm wrong. You take a thing, put them on. Rebel, rebel, you tore your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. You got your mama in a whirl. She's not sure if you're a boy or a girl. Hey babe, your hair's alright. Hey baby, let's go out tonight. You like me and I like it all. We like dancing and we look divine. You know bands when they play it hard. You want more and you want it fast, yeah. You put you down, they say I'm wrong. You take your thing, put them on. Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so. Well, you torn your dress, your face is a mess. You can't get along about the great success. And your transmission and a life, wow, you got a speed time and a handful of lose. You say you don't know boys when you cut up the news, 'cause they tore your dress and your face is a mess. Well, how could they know? Well, how could they know? Yeah, to tell me where you wanna go. Rebel, 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 rebel.
Yeah.
Well done, George. Great stuff.
Thank you, Becky.
Hey,
Go on.
can I just say, in the 80s, I played in a band with a guy who played a right-handed guitar, left-handed. And watching you now, it doesn't get any easier. Because I always say, "What are you playing? What chord is
Well, I can't
That's
answer
very
the
good, man.
question.
that?" Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Done it since I was a
very
kid.
cool. I
Thank
think
you, guys.
when I saw him at Rod Laver, he opened up with that, but it was just the guitar.
Oh,
was doing it.
Yeah, it's
Got
like
your mother in a world. Yeah, he just fiddled with it. It was so good.
was that
one,
the
yes.
was that the tour in about 2005 or so where he was wearing that jacket?
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Reality.
Yeah, that's the one. That's my
so
favorite
good.
Rebel, I think, that's around.
Yeah,
One thing
they
that
all-
I reckon he'd love that version.
Thanks, Berkey.
Yeah, George putting some of
That's
his own in
beautiful,
there
man.
as well. Just, I've seen
Right.
George grow as a young performer into what he's putting out now, and it's there's a lot of his own stuff in there. You can see a lot of influences by a lot of great artists. So keep it up. Can we just ask you the same, if we can, George, before you go back?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, my household wasn't much of a Bowie household, really. So I was really into Kiss as well. So I always loved theatrical bands and, bands that went above and beyond when it came to how they performed and how they presented themselves. And like I said, I love that See You George album, but didn't really know how the original songs went or sounded, and never really thought to check. Like when I entered high school, I started getting into 60s, mainly British music, and 70s, like T-Rex and Small Faces I got into first. And it took me ages to get into it for some reason. But then towards the end of high school, I started really, really getting into just glam in general. And I've been a fucking, a Bowie obsessive ever since. And he's been just a massive influence on my writing and my performance, mainly, I'd say. Just how, just the possibilities you have on a stage that you can explore just using your body and your face, and not just singing songs that you've written, but also performing them in how, whatever way you want.
Yeah.
That
shows, mate. Thanks for that. Mr. Naylor, if we can, I was lucky enough to have you play at my daughter Emma's 18th birthday a few years ago, and it wasn't long after David had passed. And during the week, we were just talking about what songs you're going to do, and you said, "What's your favourite Bowie song?" And I went, "I'll have to go with Young Americans." And I think we might have lost Ash again, but we'll play on.
So,
no, he's back.
How's that?
Yeah, it was great. Yep, perfect. Good, Ash. You're in there now. So Ash, if we can ask you for one more before we lose you, before your phone dies.
Yeah, my phone's okay. Freaking internet where I am, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but that was a beautiful version, man. Both guys.
Thank you.
All right. My connection's a bit as your father. I'll do another one. It's the song was crossover between Kiss fandom and all that stuff into sort of Bowie and all the things that opened up as well. So I'm going to have a little Ashes to Ashes. So
Ash, looks like we might have lost you there, Ash.
Hoping the internet comes good in a second. We've just lost Ash momentarily, so hopefully he comes back in a second. Give us a sec. We might just bring the boys up quickly while we're waiting. Boys, as we know, internets can be a little bit patchy, no doubt. Ash has messaged me from mid New South Wales coast somewhere. So life's a little bit different now. Touring. Thanks. Really appreciate you guys being able to come on tonight and just celebrate the life of Bowie with us. I know, Rusty, incredible tribute that you boys all put together. That Bowie years I can't wait till it's back on stage again. The golden years. That was a beautiful show. And George, I'm going to put you a challenge for eventually, mate. We're definitely going to have to do a Bowie night where I'm going to invite different artists, and we're going to hopefully be able to do this as a live show somewhere. So I appreciate everyone being able to hang on with the patchy kind of internet that we're all experiencing these days. But the heart's in the right place. But we found Ash again, so let's just bring him up.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Right, Ash,
I'm just persevering here. I didn't even know what I was up to what verse was I up to?
Just before the first.
You hadn't started yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice one.
Do you remember a guy that's been in such an early song? I had a room with the ground control. Oh no, don't say it's true. I got a message from the action man. I'm happy, hope you're happy too. I've loved all I've needed love, sort of details following. The shriek of nothing is killing, just pictures of Jack girls and synthesis, and I ain't got no worry and I ain't got no hair. But I'm hoping to kick, but this planet is going on and on and on. Ashes to ashes, funk to funky. We know age and someone's a junkie, strung out in the time. Time again, I tell myself I stay clean tonight. The little wheels are falling late all again. I'm stuck with the valuable thing. You're happy too. One flash of light, but no smoking pistol. I've never done good things. I've never done bad things. I never did anything out of the blue. Oh. Want an axe to break the ice. I wanna come down right now. Ashes to ashes, funk to funky. You know, age and soul's a junkie, strung out in heaven's high. Feeling all time. My mama said, so get things done, you better not miss with age and soul. My mama said, to get things done, you better not mess with major time. My mama said, to get things done, you better not mess with major time. My mama said, to get things done, you better not mess with major time.
Beautiful, Ashley. Glad you stuck at it. That was great, mate. Well done.
So good. What about in that phrasing, my mother says to get things done, how it starts on one chord and the next time it comes around it's another chord and the next time it comes around, but he's still singing basically the same melody.
Insane, isn't it?
In the same key. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
G'day, boys.
Do you think he just did that or he wrote it? You think it just happened?
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
I think he was just very musically intuitive. So he knew enough about different kinds of music to incorporate them whenever they happened to pass through his mind, and then he could use it as opposed to something that was too overly conscious. I think that's kind of what he's said in interviews and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He just always did what felt right.
G'day, Az and Berkey. Ash, lovely to see you again. Rusty, lovely to see you again. And George or Pollyman, I've heard a lot about you, mate, and it's all been good and you've delivered in spades, mate. Guys, thanks for coming on. I've been in the background listening.
But that song is like, how you going, mate?
Immensely talented.
Good to see you, mate.
Pleasure. Did you just call him Pie Man?
Pollyman. No.
That was a joke.
Pie Man.
That was a joke.
And on the topic of jokes, Rusty,
yes,
the joke that you went with earlier, mate, that probably wasn't your best work.
Just another thing on that song, I say to people, it's hard enough writing one good song with one.
Yeah. We didn't get your punchline. So it's hard enough writing one good song.
He's gone again. Oh, no. What was the thing about Ash? What was the thing you were saying about Ashes to Ashes?
Oh yeah, like it's hard enough writing. I was going to say it's hard enough writing one good song with one good part, let alone writing a great song with like 4 great parts. Like each component of that song could survive as its own song.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's like an ABBA song. You've got.
Oh, so you go.
Yeah, go, mate. Yeah.
I was going to say that's what I thought about the first time I listened to Station properly. Like it starts off in that, that cool halftime sort of freaky German sounding thing, and then goes into that like disco bit at the end where it picks up and there's like all those genius melodies, and so cool. Yeah,
it's mind blowing, but to think that Ashes to Ashes was a #1 song as well, like it went hit charts around the world. Like, it's a great song is a great song, but that song almost defies classification, really.
Truly.
Yeah.
Like if you think of each section of that song is its own. It's like you can think of a number of songs that could be born out of that song. It's it's incredible.
Totally.
But yeah, like you said about Station to Station, same kettle of fish, mate. Just absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, talking about that, slightly off topic though with bands, but I watched this doco of U2, and the song One was actually the middle of Mysterious Ways. And the producer said, no, that's a song.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because Mysterious Ways is one of my favourite latter period U2 songs.
Yeah. He said, you need to put that to the side and write another bit, and then we'll come back to that, and that's a song.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
We could just listen to you guys talk and discuss music for hours, I reckon, guys. So I'm glad you're all in touch with each other. I'm going to ask if we can, Rusty, for another one from you, if we can, please, mate.
Sorry?
What have you got?
You want to do another one?
One from you, if that's okay, Rusty. Another song from
you.
What have we got?
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Wid and Gilly, and the Spiders from Mars. Played it left hand, but he made it too far. I always thought this was a minor. It's a major. Became a special man. Then we were Ziggy's band. Ziggy really sang. Screwed up eyes and screwed down hairdo. Like some cat from Japan. You could lick him by smiling. You could leave him to hang. He came on so loaded, man. Well hung in Snow White tan. So where were the spiders? While the fly tried to break our bones, just to be like to guide us. So we bitched about the bands and should crush his sweet hands. Oh yeah. Ziggy really sang. Screwed up eyes and screwed down hairdo. Like some cat from Japan. I already sing that. He could come by smiling. He could leave him behind. He came on so loaded, man. Boy, I blew that. Well, I'm in so like that. Making love with his ego. Ziggy sucked up into his mind. Like a leper messiah. When the kids had killed the man, I had to break up the band. Oh yeah. Woo. Oh yeah. Ziggy played guitar. Oh. Sorry about the verse. Oh my God.
Classic.
I think I've done that. I feel like I've done that before, sung the wrong verse or the same verse twice. I should have better
You're good
known
enough verse. You're doing us a favor singing it twice.
I love that song. I love that song.
Yeah, the live version of that at the like the live movie, the Ziggy Stardust movie. It's like one of the. I think that's kind of what sort of hooked me on Bowie. Actually, really seriously, it was just how amazing his voice is and that, and just the what's the word? I guess just the alignment of all the different members of the band. It's just such a sound. Such an excellent sound.
You know, my favorite bit of that song, my favorite bit is when it gets to the D.
Yeah.
It's so out of tune that it just it doesn't matter.
No.
Because they're just performing it.
Yeah.
You know, and if that was today, we wouldn't have that.
No way.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a moment.
Yeah.
And that's what music is. A moment.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, the
60s to 70s music.
The interesting part for me, Rusty, is just your point there that to hear someone like that someone like Bowie, from a musician's point of view, still wasn't perfect. And some of those things that we actually did, whether be deliberate or not, maybe turned into little moments of genius, you know. It's great to hear those kind of stories from you guys. And obviously me not being a musician, but listen to a lot of music, don't pick up on that sort of stuff. So thanks for sharing that little gem for us, Rusty.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
it's a positive. It wasn't a negative.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. Look, someone like Bowie, incredibly diverse in all the years. There hasn't been too many artists that have been able to spread across so many, not, I wouldn't say genres necessarily, but just styles and looks. And definitely, George, you have captured a few of those influences incredibly well. We mentioned that when we had you on an interview last time. So I really look forward to following you. And once again, just on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to really thank everyone for their time here. I know the internet's been patchy. It hasn't been perfect. It's all been done in the right spirit. And Ash, when you dropped off before, I mentioned that I'd love to be able to one day pull together a few artists and do a little bit more of a live tribute night that hopefully we could get out to a few more people. So I really appreciate everyone coming together for this.
Thank you, mate.
Well,
I loved it.
All right. I think we might go back to George for one more. Right. What have you got for us, George?
Well, this was, I think, the first David Bowie song I ever learned how to play because I remember even before I could play guitar, I helped my mum figure out a cover of this song, and I really loved it. And then there was this video going around on YouTube, like quite a few years ago now, of an astronaut on board the International Space Station doing a cover of Space Oddity, like with footage from the station, and it was just really strange but really cool. And he did a really lovely version of it. So I thought that I'd do just, I guess, one of the first Bowie songs that come to mind whenever I think of him. And yeah, I just think it's over 50 years old now, but it's still relevant and the recording is still amazing. And it's just mental to think that he wrote this song when he was about my age. That's crazy. So in all the ways that I try to, incorporate his sort of teachings into my music and style and everything, I think it's quite inspiring that he wrote a song like this when he was so young. So yeah, this is Space Oddity And here we go. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground and countdown engines on. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in the most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I floating in my tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. I've crossed 100,000 miles. I'm feeling very still, and I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows. Ground control to Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I floating in my tin can, far above the moon? Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What a track.
Beautiful.
What a performance to finish up. Great stuff, George.
Thank
Wonderful.
you. Good on you guys.
George.
Beautiful, George.
Yeah.
If it's not too personal, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Are your fingers like 9.5 inches long? Oh my God.
They're pretty long. I've got pretty decently sized hands.
Yeah, they're massive, man. That's so cool. And when you're doing everything upside down, like, it's like, look at that. That's beautiful, man.
My strain back
That was fantastic, George. Really good.
Make it look easy though, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, listen, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in here, guys, and just say a big thanks to Aaron. When he said he was going for all you guys, I thought, good luck at getting those three. But he's pulled through. So great job, thanks, Az, and you guys for coming on. Yeah, it's just it's made my year. So we hope to catch up in real life somewhere along the traps because it's been great hearing your stories. We'd love just to hear more. We'd love this show to go on for a couple of hours. So lots of love to you guys, and we'll see you when the things open up a bit and we get some people to gigs. Yeah.
On your Berkey.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great work.
Take care, everybody.
Cheers, boys. And hopefully gigs are back soon. So we really look forward to checking out.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Even the Church, Electric Mary, and Pollyman. Make sure you're out there support live music.
Thanks for jumping on, boys.
Good on you
Hang
guys.
on, wait.
What?
Are you? Who's in the church?
You tell me.
Did you say? I thought you said even and the church.
Yeah, pick a
the
box.
Great Ashley Naylor, the great one's been exalted even more into. Come on, Ash, you tell a story if it holds out, if the internet holds out.
Oh my God. Are you?
Yeah, I joined the church in May 2019.
Oh, dude. Now you've been tantalized. Oh my God.
About his how he'd kick it in the head when he was 25. Speed jack. It's just circumstance led one conversation to another. It was in 2019, May 2019.
That's very cool.
So that was pretty freaky. We did one show this year in April, but it's I guess it's another story for another time because it's kind of a bit long-winded and 2 years in the making, really. But speaking of amazing music, like someone's just there you go. Yeah, so that's a spin out, but
yeah, I didn't know that.
I think I'm going to cut out now.
Fuck. Yeah. It's good. It's so cool, man. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's great hearing you guys sing. You're both amazing singers and superstars.
Thank you.
Perfect.
We need to sit around and talk about music.
Such an honor. Yeah.
We will.
We
definitely
can
around a drum. We need to sit around a fire and then film that.
That's right.
Let's film.
Absolutely.
Let's all sit around a drum of burning wood and we'll play some Bowie songs till heads cave in.
There you go.
Okay.
There's our venue. So we're going to make that happen. We're going to make that happen eventually. So thanks again, guys. We really appreciate it.
Good on you. Take it easy, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Love
Thanks again.
Well, I can die a happy man, Az.
That was incredible. Yeah, absolutely. I'm still pinching myself, mate. I'm so excited that came together. So rapt that came together. Yes, we really appreciate boys being on. The internet was so patchy there for a while, but I'm sure everyone got the gist of it. And to be able to celebrate Bowie's life, that was a fantastic way to do it. And it sounds like we could have a fair few people around that campfire if we could pull that off, and that's for sure.
That was Berkey, your words about thinking Az, but to sit in the background tonight and listen to how you both speak, and as the most non-musician person of our sort of group of three, guys, how good were those three? They were just amazing, and I thank you both for bringing me into and exposing me back to live music, and touch wood, we get to see it again sooner rather than later. That was gold, absolute gold.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Well said,
one thing one thing I'd like to thank, mate, is the great David Bowie, mate.
Yeah.
Well, without him, there was someone like George, that's so inspired by Bowie, and just look at him, mate. He's just a young Bowie all over again. It's incredible to see, and we can't wait to follow George's career. Rusty, someone that's in quite a heavy rock band that everyone knows him for, has got a softer side and loves Bowie, loves other bands as well, and gets a chance to do that. So the fact, and Ash has always been a massive Bowie fan. So I'm wrapped. I probably couldn't have picked 3 current artists that we all love. And I'm just so wrapped that, once again, thanks to the boys for saying yes. And to be honest, it was yes without question, mate. They jumped straight in and said, we're in. And I think that's fantastic. And a tribute to not only music, but a tribute to the show and the fun that we're putting together here. So Dave Cosma's come up with, as he does, he's come up with a title for us. It's what's been happening in annual campfire session. So I think we could probably make that happen. Dave, I'm sure Dave will help us write the grant applications.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to putting that out there. All right. Well, I think I just want to mention quickly next Wednesday night show. It's an exciting guest. It's a guest we've had in the I wouldn't say in the making for a while, but it was definitely one that's been on our list and really excited by it. Berkey, you know who I'm talking about, hopefully. Next Wednesday night, 30th, one of your personal faves from the good old days.
Had some ripping times seeing this guy over the years, and band when he first started in the Rectory. That would have been 35 years ago or so. He's just a great solo artist, a great front man for a band, and he's done some great stuff with the band called the Heartache State, but people know him from the band called the Reptiles. It's Nick Barker. So next one's Nick Barker. Just amazing. So
even I've seen Nick Barker. There you go. That's saying something. That'll be fantastic. That's a great get.
Yeah, it is a great get. And so, Berkey, thanks for reaching out to Nick. But
he's looking forward to it too, so yeah.
He is. Look, sadly, disappointing. Let's just finish on a slightly disappointing note and then raise the bar a little bit. But disappointing news today that venues aren't opening up fully. Obviously, it's just ridiculous. The 4 square metre rule per person just makes it impossible to operate. So anything anyone can do to support a venue this weekend, please help try and do it. Get online, buy some merch, try and show your head and get a beer in there if you can. And if not, save some money and make sure you do it in the next couple of weeks because they really need your help come post this lockdown, especially in Melbourne. And it looks like Ash being on the road in New South Wales, there's some scares up there as well. So there's no certainty to any of that at the moment. So get out and support live music. Really appreciate everyone coming on. It's been fun, mate. I won't sleep tonight thinking about how good this was. So appreciate you boys joining me. And Berkey, thanks again. You've worn the party shirt for a great night. Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Lots of love, boys.
Fantastic, boys. What a fun. Great to see you.
See you guys.